Hey YouTube, it's Rudy.
And chops.
Yeah, he's having fun with that. We've got a little bit of a nautical theme going on tonight for our deck profile. We had a pretty cool guy subscribe to our channel, and he's all about the Gishkis. He's got some cool stuff. He's got a cool profile, and I said, "Hey, I want to talk about mine for a little bit." So, yeah, we thought we'd try to get in the spirit of things. This is what I get for hanging out with a marine biologist. So with the paradox, infinite, inception glare going on in his goggles, I can like see myself twice. You know. All right. Well, let's get started. So, for those of you who don't know, the Gishkis are from Hidden Arsenals 5 and 6, and they're pretty crazy because they're bringing back rituals, which is a older play style that we haven't seen in a while, at least effectively, outside of like Herald and stuff like that. But they do it really awesome. It's all water stuff, and the design of the cards is just so cool. So the whole point is to bring out big boss monsters like this guy, Evigishki Soul Ogre. Now, he's a 2800 beater and level 8. And once per turn, you can discard a Gishki monster to take a face-up monster your opponent controls and shuffle it back into their deck. So that's a great way to clear the field and swing, for heavy damage. That's what the Gishkis are all about, is shuffling things back into the deck and recycling. You can ramp rituals like a mofo with this deck. It's so crazy. So there's a lot of rituals in there. The next one up is 2 Evigishki Tetrogre. I like this guy. Some people don't run him. Some people prefer to do Mind August over him. Some people prefer Graveyard Retrieval. Once per turn, you can declare a monster spell or trap, and then both you and your opponent send a card of that type from your deck to your graveyard, and your opponent can discard a card to negate that effect. But it really works in your favor half the time if you've got something in your hand that can retrieve stuff from the grave, like stuff that's on a couple cards that are special summonable or normal summonable, get their effect when they're brought back. It's ridiculous, and we'll get into more of that later. Unfortunately, this card was hit to 1 before it even existed. This is the first time I can ever imagine this happening in the game. I don't even.
Yeah.
Uh,
I don't know any of the cards.
Evigishki Gustkraken. Now this guy is just, or girl is just ridiculous. Another level 6 ritual. When it's summoned, you pick 2 random cards in your opponent's hand and pick one, shuffle it back into their deck. So you can, if you open hand with Gustkraken, then you can screw them up so much. And I mean, they hit it for a reason. There was a lot of talk about that, Constellar loop that you could do with Ptolemy's Messier 7, but that card doesn't even exist yet. So thanks, Dueling Network. Sorry. I love you guys. So yeah, next ritual and last one, Evigishki Mind August. It's kind of like a pot of avarice for you or your opponent without the draw. Take 5 cards out of either graveyard and back into the deck they go. So moving on to the regular monsters, the key to a deck like this, some people like to pick and choose and run 3s of certain things. There's a lot of different Gishki cards, but I like to do a smattering of everything. I run 2 of everything basically, or 2 of all the good stuff, and then a lot of spell support. And if you run 2 of everything, then you'll find that more often than not, you'll have 2 of everything at your disposal whenever you want it, because it's all about recycling and retrieval and looping.
It's good at it.
Yeah, it's very good at it. So we start with 2 Gishki Abyss. Now this guy is like a linchpin in the deck. When he's normal summoned or special summoned, you can grab a Gishki monster. Now this could be any Gishki monster with 1,000 or less defense. So you can even grab Gustkraken because it's got 1,000 defense. So that nets you things like vision, shadow, things that are big searchers out of the deck. It's all about searching. People have been talking about combos with surface, dropping Abyss and getting him into the graveyard somehow, and then throw down surface. If you do it right, you can use Abyss twice per turn, and it just rocks. Next big guy in the deck, Gishki Shadow. Now, you can pitch him to grab a ritual spell from your deck to your hand, and that's going to be your Gishki Aquamirror or one of the other Gishki rituals. But the best part about him is you can use him as an entire tribute for a ritual from your hand, from your deck. I mean, not from your hand or from your field. From your deck, that's crazy. What? But yeah, so you find that you've got a handful of level 8 ritual monsters and level 6s, and you just toss a level 4 like it's no big deal, and here we go. You know, here comes the shenanigans. 1200 attack, retrievable by salvage, so that's awesome too.
Yep.
Another guy just like him, Gishki Vision. Same kind of deal. You can use him as the entire tribute. He's searchable by Abyss. He's retrievable through salvage, but when you pitch him, you get a ritual monster. So, another awesome thing. More searching, Gishki Ariel. Now, she's a little bit slower, but I like her because there's no restriction as to what she can search. Flip her face up, 1800 defense, so she can block a little bit. She can, pull her own weight that way by setting her. Flip her face up and get a Gishki monster from your deck to your hand. Simple as that. Anything with Gishki in its name. Love it. Another fantastic card. It's its very own built-in plot of duality. Gishki Chain. So you summon him, normal or special summon. No, actually it's just normal summon. Excuse me. I'm thinking of Marker.
Yes.
Normal summon him. Flip over the top 3 cards of your deck. Take any rituals and any ritual spells. Add them to your hand, and then put the rest back on the top of your deck in any order you choose. So that's super useful. You basically predict your next 3 draws at the worst.
Yeah.
And then at the best, you can add 3 cards to your hand, which has happened before.
You usually get at least
I'll get a ritual spell
or a ritual monster.
Yeah, I'll get something.
At least one or two. You've gotten 2 ritual spells at one point.
Yeah. You sound like you have an awful head cold. And you're fogging up too.
Well, that's okay.
That's what you get for being stinky diver there. There we go. Next card on the list, Gishki Marker at 2. Now this guy's pretty cool too. He's less of a searcher, more of a retriever. When he's summoned, you can take either a ritual spell or a ritual monster from your graveyard and add it back to your hand. And we like that. More recycling, because more often than not, you'll find that you'll have summoned 2 or 3 times already this turn and not used your normal summon yet, so love it. Another guy that helps ramp summons here is Gishki Beast at 2. When he's normal summoned, you special summon a level 4 Gishki monster from your graveyard in face-up defense position. So that allows you to run... does it have to be level 4? Yeah, 1 level 4 or lower Gishki monster. So you can bring back Abyss. You can bring back Marker and get your search, and then go for a level 8 ritual. It's insane. Now we're pretty much done with the Gishki monsters, but I got 2 more monsters here. Manju of the 10,000 Hands at 2. Now he's pretty versatile. Level 4, summon him, gain a ritual spell or a ritual monster to your hand. You open hand with something, get the missing piece with Manju, and go for it. Big card of the deck. This is our big spell card at 3, obviously. Gishki Aqua Mirror. There are other Gishki ritual spells available, but those are the only 3 that I run because I think they're the most consistent. Easy to find, easy to use, easy to retrieve. They have their own recycling effects. You can, if it's in the graveyard, you can take a Gishki ritual monster from your graveyard, add it back to your hand, and then shuffle Aqua Mirror back into your deck. So it recycles itself plus another monster. It's
pretty good.
It's insanity.
And that happens at least like once, twice a turn.
Yeah. And then for the times when you don't want to, when you want Gishki Aqua Mirror right back to your hand for another quick ritual summon, Preparation of Rites really comes in handy because you nab a level 7 or higher ritual monster from your deck, which is your Soul Ogre, and eventually things like Levianima and Zeal Gygus will come out, which I'm very excited for. Levianima is going to be my best friend. And then you add a ritual spell from your graveyard to your hand and just go for it. So here's where my deck differs a little bit from a couple other people's. I have a lot of draw power into this deck alongside the search power, and I'll find that on a good day I can draw maybe 5-6 cards out of my deck and search through at least 4 or 5 at the same time in one turn. It's happened before. So that way I run 2 Moray of Greeds. Very useful card. Shuffle 3 monsters back into your deck. Shuffle 2 water monsters back in your deck. Draw 3 cards. Our monitor just... There we go. Okay. Monitor fell asleep. Love that.
That didn't affect the video.
No, I don't think it did.
Okay.
Well, we'll find out later.
Yes.
'Cause I'm really not going to want to do this again.
No.
So anyway, moving on. More draw power. Trade in at 2. Discard a level 8 monster. Draw 2 cards. Easy way to pitch Soul Ogre or eventually Levianima, and then draw 2. I find that having my rituals in the graveyard early game is beneficial to me. So I'm really not afraid of that +2. It's beautiful. 2 salvage. We like salvage. All the targets in this deck basically, all the little guys that meld into one big thing are what you want in your hand. So grab 2 of them back whenever you want.
Yep.
And the little one-fers like, these guys, Dark Hole, Monster Reborn, of course. Staples, exactly.
Yeah.
No heavy. I find that running MST at 3 is a little more consistent for me. I don't know, I just like it. I like having the pop one. I like chaining. This is more of a chaining deck when it comes to our spell and trap support. Pot of Avarice is going to, net you your monsters back. It's going to net you 2 draws. It's good. A card that I've been testing out, and we're coming to the end of it. A card that I've been testing out, I've been seeing a lot of people do. I need more of them, but I'm trying it at 1 right now, and it seems to work all right when I don't ever need it, but it helps. So I'm thinking about trying to run it at 3. Surface, special summon a level 3 or lower. Basically anything water, fish, sea serpent, aqua.
Yeah.
And in defense position. So that gets you Abyss back for another round of searching.
Yeah.
It's fun. I like it. I want to try it. But this deck is also 42 cards right now, but it runs like a dream. I'm not afraid of having, 41, 42, even 43. I've run decks at 43 before, and it's been negligible at best.
This deck has plenty of draw power,
yeah,
so
absolutely.
cycling through 42 cards really isn't that difficult at all.
I can get what I need first turn. It's fine.
Yep.
And then you'll notice that there's no traps, and that's because it's a decree build. 2 Royal Decrees, fear no traps. And because this deck's a ritual deck, I really don't find myself using much of an extra deck at all. I mean, I have some, generic rank 4 Xyzes. I find that I never really use them, but in a pinch, if I have nothing left, they're okay. 2 Marrowgeist, 1 DT, it's kind of cool. I like it. A Utopia, a Shark Drake, which if I could use more, when I get him out, I love him. It's Shark Drake,
Too bad he's
and
3.
a Papal Operative, stuff like that. I tried doing some synchro stuff with it before with like Plague Spreader. That ended up just slowing me down more. I mean, it was fun. I was able to sync for 6s like once or twice. Iron Chain Dragon or something, or Gaia. Like, okay, whatever. I'm not concerned with doing that. I've got massive rituals in the deck that I can just plop onto the field. And are you getting like lightheaded from that?
No.
That mouth breathing is going to hurt you at all? Oh my God.
Mouth breather.
Yeah, we like that. Speaking of which, you got to go up for air soon, huh?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, YouTube. We'll be back soon with more shenanigans, and okay, make sure you decompress.